Hello, boozers, and welcome. This is probably the last time for the month that I'm going to say hello, boozers. That's right, I am here, and we are looking at a couple of stories because, well, I just can't not look at these stories because there's some news going on here, that's for damn sure. So, what are we looking at here? Alright, well, why don't we get into it? Let me just see if I'm actually streaming. There we go. I am streaming. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children over the age of 18, 19, 21, and the legal drinking age, welcome to one of the last beer booze chatters for this month. For the next month, I will actually be doing something else where I will not be drinking. But you have or have not seen that already. If you have, great. If you have not, well, I'm not going to be drinking for the next month. That's going to be something that you'll be able to find on my YouTube page. It was a story before this one. Go check it out. So, what do we got tonight? Well, we've got my last beer I'm having for a month. That's for damn sure. And the last beer I'm actually having, and I'm probably going to be disappointed in this one, as I have been with all the other ones, is from Rochester Mills, and it is their Blueberry Pancake Milkshake Stout. And it is coming in at a formidable weak sauce of a 5.2%. And so I wonder if it's going to taste like a blueberry pancake. Are we going to have a thickness of a batter? Possibly. But we're going to find out. And yes, it's not quite midnight yet, and I haven't fallen asleep. When I stop drinking is when I wake up the next morning. So maybe I'll just keep drinking and see how long I last before I pass out. No, that's not going to be the case. I will be going to bed and I will be waking up the next day and not drinking. So right now we've got a beautiful stout, very thick. We've got 1 finger worth of head, 1.5 fingers worth of head. The smell. Oh my fucking god, you gotta be kidding me. That is pungent. And pungent in a bad fucking way. God, that smelled horrible. Oh, my last beer's gonna be shit. Well, down the hatch. Well, if that's not gonna stop me drinking, I don't know what the fuck is. By God, that's horrible. It's my last beer from them, and it's like a blueberry pop with a bit of dark hops in it, and dark hops. What the fuck am I talking about? Dark malts. Jesus, I've been drinking tonight, so you'll have to excuse some of the stuff. All right, you know what? Let's get down to this. That's just not the best beer I'm going to be having tonight. Oh well, that was my choice. It'll help me quit. So, up here in the Great White North, Labatt's has been very, very busy for a company that likes to take over things. They've taken over a couple of things in the past couple of weeks, one of which has been something in BC, and the other one has been right here in Alberta. Actually, in fact, it's been in Calgary, Alberta. Let's have a quick peek and see what we've got. So first of all, Labatt Breweries of Canada has acquired a distillery known for spirits and canned cocktails as the brewery looks to expand its ready-to-drink offerings, a bright spot for a company grappling with the declining beer market. Canned spirits and cocktails and declining beer market. All right, maybe they might be looking to expand into their stuff because their macros aren't looking that good. Could be it. Oh, fuck, that's horrible. Oh my god. What the fuck am I thinking? Anyways, Labatt announced Monday that it has acquired Delta BC's based Goodridge and Williams, the distillery that makes neutral vodka and vodka soda drinks, along with several other spirit and mixed drinks. And it goes on from there. The ready-to-drink category Canada has grown by double digits in recent years, said Labatt President Kyle Norrington in an email, citing industry data from the past 3 years that has tracked the rise. And it's late at night, and I'm yawning. Okay, of pre-mixed drinks and like the vodka sodas and gin tonics. A vodka soda market in particular saw triple-digit growth over the past 3 years, he said. Spirits, which includes ready-to-drink products, maintained the largest portion of Liquor Control Board Ontario sales in 2019. Yet it's out of BC. So you see where we're going with this. They're going for the Ontario market. And it goes on and on and on and blah 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 blah, saying they bought out this stuff. Good for them. They bought out a spirit, a ready-made spirit that's been cheaply made. Right up their alley, folks. Right up their alley. However, the biggest surprise came out of Calgary, Alberta, just the other day. This was done January 27th, it was noted. And then, no more than 2 days later, there's been a new announcement that was made. Well, 3 days. 2 days, let's call it. For the second time in 9 months, a Calgary craft brewery has been snapped up by a major corporation. The other one was Wild Rose when Sapporo went and took over. This one on Wednesday Labatt Breweries of Canada, which is owned by Belgian multinational giant Anheuser-Busch InBev, announced that its acquisition of Banded Peak Brewing out of Calgary, Alberta, which operates a taproom and brewery in southeast Calgary. Calgary's Barley Belt. And terms of the deal were not disclosed. Banded Peak, which produces such beers as Chinook Saison and Summit Seeker IPA, which is a damn fine IPA. I really do like that one. Is a relatively new brewery founded in 2016. It has 11 full-time and 4 part-time employees and produced 3,000 hectoliters of beer in 2019. By comparison, Big Rock's brewery produced just over 200,000 hectoliters in 2018. I never dreamed the Labatt deal would have been possible, said Alex Horner, who co-founded Banded Peak with his childhood friends Matt Berard and Colin McLean. We obviously had lots of ambition for the brewery. We wanted to grow and build our business, but this level of growth, we never anticipated, never saw a partnership as like this as something that was possible. Yes. Bandit Peak's acquisition comes at the heels of last May's purchase of Calgary Wild Rose by Sleeman, or Sapporo for that matter. A subsidiary of Japanese multinational beer giant, and you can say it with me, Sapporo. Um, I like just saying it. It sounds so good. Sapporo Breweries Limited, as Sleeman pledged that in that instance, Labatt, which has purchased other Canadian craft brewers in recent years, including BC Stanley Park Brewing and Toronto-based Mill Street Brewery, said Wednesday has no plans to change Bandit Peak's beer. Labatt will maintain the brewery and taproom as standalone entities, and Bandit Peak founders and employees will remain with the brewery. Now, I've been in takeovers before. I've been in quite a few takeovers before, and usually within a year to 18 months, you see the CEOs kind of walk out of the door with a hefty package of, here you go, here's your money, please walk away type thing. I'm not saying this is going to be the deal that's going to be happening, but there could be a possibility. They could get a hefty and nice retirement package and told, here's the door, if you agree to it, if you don't, fine, but we understand that you will be taking a buyout one way or another, and you'll be going on a retirement package. It happened with Natural Health Services that was bought out by one of the big U.S. Medical marijuana places, which turned around and said that they didn't want to be in Canada anymore and reversed the deal and got the fuck out of Dodge. This isn't going to be the case for Labatt's. This is Labatt's is sticking around. They're going to take it and just hold on to it for a long period of time. Um, I feel that Bandit Peak did a very good move on this. This was a very solid move for them. They probably had a few things that were going on behind the scenes, and Labatt went, you know what? You're part of this barley belt. We can offer you this much money if you let us in and let us get into that. It's not the first Labatt brewery slash big thing that we have in Alberta. We also do have Mill Street Calgary here. Now, that is a separate entity from Mill Street in Toronto because they have their own brew pub in there and they brew their own beer, but they do have all of Mill Street's beers in there. So anything from the Toronto plant brewery, they have in there. Um, so they've got all that stuff there. Now, whether or not they do keep the staff, I hope they do because these guys have done a lot for this company and they deserve to stay there for a while, which would be great. There is no talk of buyouts from Stanley Park yet, but at the same point in time, they're now doing tours across Canada with their product and doing tastings and everything else like that with Labatt's representatives from each province or territory, western, eastern, whatever, hanging out with them to answer questions. So they are getting their name out there a little bit further. Now, having something like Stanley Park versus Bandit Peak, Stanley Park has a little bit more of a name for itself. It is a name that you hear with Vancouver. You think Vancouver. Bandit Peak you don't hear with Calgary or Alberta so much. But again, I don't know the details of why they did it. I just know that Bandit Peak jumped on the chance, and good for them for doing it. I really think that it's a good idea that they did it. They may have had some issues that caused them to say, yeah, you know what, or have Labatt come up and say, hey, look, you know what, you've seen our Mill Street place. Why don't you sit down? We'll talk and maybe we can work out a deal where we do some stuff and then maybe even collab with Mill Street a few times, get your stuff into Ontario because you're collabing with Mill Street. See where I'm going with this here? And they can try and sort of work on some deals with that too. I know, I'm talking out of my ass. One guy who said I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about says I'm talking out of my ass. But you know what? These are all speculations. It's my opinion. Fuck you if you don't like it. I really don't give a fuck. Um, but at the same point in time, there's all sorts of fun little rumors you can put with this. Fun little plays that you can do with this. So that's exactly what I've done. I'm sort of looking at this going, well, that's a great deal for them because now they can actually get their stuff out a little bit further. They can get some better equipment to make some more beer, get some bigger stuff, bigger things. You can probably see that their brewery will expand in the next 6 months to make more beer because they do have a micro or a macro brewery. So having them get this, it is a solid deal. I'm not going to lie, that is a solid deal. I don't care if you don't like macros or not. That's something that you don't turn around. I mean, you have those millionaires come up to you and say, hey, how would you like to retire next week if I get to buy your stuff? Someone turned around and said, I want your booze reviews name for $1 million. Here you go. There's my name. I'm wiping my name clean off this. And I might actually just go and retire for a bit. Well, you can't retire for $1 million. They said for $5 million. I'd be like, let's talk. Really, let's talk right now. You cut the check. You make sure that I'll make sure that that thing clears, and it's all yours. By all means, you get to the entitlement of boozereviews.ca, as long as I get to wipe my hands of it. Or if you still want me on and still pay me, I'll do that too. You buy it for $5 million, and still you cut the checks for me doing reviews. let's talk. It all comes down to a matter of dollars and cents. I mean, everyone wants that $1 million payout, no matter what. And this is just one of the other people that gets that $1 million payout. They still get to brew their own beer. There's nothing that's really going to change. Now, if they have to use Labatt's hops or malts or anything else like that because they're cheaper and more convenient, then that recipe is going to change. Then that recipe is going to get a little different. But that's going to be up to the consumer to decide if that's what's happened. Overall, it's a solid move by Labatt and by Banded Peak. Labatt now has their claws in the barley belts, and that right there speaks volumes of how well that barley belt is doing. Because you have some great breweries in there, some amazing breweries in there, from annex to establishment to like basically prairie dogs in there as well. It's kind of the barley belt, but a little bit outside of it. Outcast is in the barley belts. Like there's some really good breweries. So it might actually entice people to come around a little bit more when they start having more of the Bandit Peak, which could help out with the other breweries in the end. Because there is a lot of people out there that just don't give a fuck who owns the brewery as long as it's good beer. As long as the beer is still really damn good, which is fair. Um, I've liked Bandit Peak stuff for a while. Like I said, their Trailbreaker IPA has been one of the ones that I really do enjoy. It is one that I love. So it's I think of this as I'm sad that they bought out, but at the same point in time, congratulations for them to actually be chosen to be bought out by a big major company like this. Congratulations for them because they now have that little extra coin that's going to help them get a little bit further. Excuse me. I mean, Ontario might see some of their stuff and they won't even know where the fuck that came from. It could happen. It really could. But if they have the same deal as Mill Street Calgary still does not can their own stuff. They do not distribute their own stuff outside of the brew pub. They really don't do a lot. They don't go out there and make cans for massive amounts of people. They make it for their brew pub and their brew pub only. I have not seen anything from Mill Street that isn't from Toronto in the liquor stores here. So it depends on the deal. So that's the hard part is it depends on the deal, which is fair. I mean, you think about it, and it's kind of interesting to see how they would go about this. Yeah, it looks like Ham had something to say, but he disappeared. All right. So that being said, I would like to just congratulate Bandit Peak for what they did. It's a bold move, very bold move, because you now have become the divided line where people will or will not buy your stuff because of what you've done. But here's to you guys. I wish you luck in the future, and no matter what, if your sales go down, you got someone with big pockets and you're right behind you. Just hope you didn't sell your soul to the devil. I really hope you didn't. So, with that being said, I want to talk about one other brewery. I want to talk about another brewery that actually, from what I heard today, has actually closed down. I've done one beer from these guys, and I'm actually really disappointed that these guys had to close down. Um, they had some great stuff going for them. They had some good stuff, but I guess they just couldn't cut it, which was fair. Really is. That being said, Cole Harbour out of Vancouver, BC has shut their doors as of today. Unfortunately, they did not make the cut. Their beers were I had one of their beers. I'm not saying that I had a lot. I had one of their beers and I really did enjoy it. It was really interesting, really good. And it was a blueberry pancake one and it was better than this. Tons better than this. This one is okay, but I mean the other one had a lot of stuff in it. It was really good. If you really want, look up my review of their beer. If I could just find the name of it. It was called. It's not far away. I swear it's not far away, but I went and scrolled through a lot of crap last tonight when I was doing it. Um, but I went and tried it last February, and it was one of those ones where I really enjoyed it. It was really good. Um, and I wanted to buy more and bring it home, but I just didn't get the chance to, unfortunately, which really kind of sucked, but I tried. I really tried. So, the beer that I got to try was the Breckie, and it was actually really, really, really good. Really liked it, and it was. Let's see if I can pull up a picture here. Limited release, and it was like a blueberry pancake something, 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 something. There was a lot there. There was a lot to be had there. They had a lot of ingredients in it, but at the same point in time, you could taste all the ingredients. It was really quite a different mix that I like to see. Um, yeah, I'm just trying to find it. My picture here. Bear with me because it's getting close. I know it is. Ah, shit, June. I need to go back to February. And I probably should have looked in my Instagram. That would have been much better. Um, yeah, let's go to my Instagram. So, this beer had a lot going on it, and I was really quite pleased with it. I had it, and I thought, wow, this is just absolutely delicious. There is a lot in here, but they had it so well balanced that it pretty much was just, it was really, really well done. And it was a breakfast blonde ale. They said breakfast for dinner, and it was um, an IPA with blueberry, granola, maple syrup, and vanilla, as well as blueberry pancake. A lot, like I said, a lot was put into this, but it was so good. So good. Really did enjoy it. Sorry, give me 2 seconds here. My mouse is deciding to be all crappy on me, so. Um, there you go. Alright, cool. Anyways, so the stuff that we have in this is just it was really good, but to see them close their doors for what we know right now is an unexplained reason. They've got a press release that they're going to try and send out soon, and I imagine that it'll come out in the next day or so. But the news is already leaked, and it's been confirmed that that it's happened. And I'm kind of upset by that, but at the same point in time, not surprised. Vancouver's market, or British Columbia's market for that matter, is very saturated, but not in a way that you would think. If you could make. Sorry, guys. I am super tired. if you can make it work well with you, then you know you can do a lot of things for it. But at the same point in time, you have, wow, wow, okay, wow, interesting. You have a lot of things that happen. I'm just looking through their social media right now, and they were so active. Like, seriously, they were so active up to 19 weeks ago. So that was the first sign of trouble. I wasn't even paying attention to their stuff. There's so many breweries out there, you don't pay attention to a lot of them. Cole Harbour was so active in their social media up until 19 weeks ago, where they suddenly dropped off the face of the earth. There is no mention of Cole Harbour around here, or for the matter that they did anything on their social media. First sign of trouble when you stop posting things on social media. Um, in my opinion, sorry, I'm bitter about someone saying shit about my fucking show. Really. Eh. Eh. But anyways, um, from there you have a few other things, but it was first reported by Matter of Beer on on Facebook, and it was then spread out through craft beer from British Columbia and beyond. That yeah, things that basically Cole Harbour has decided to shut down. So from Matter of Beer, we have this post here. These posts are never easy and never will be. It looks like Cold Harbour Brewing Company has made the tough choice to close its stores, leaving a pretty big hole in the BC craft beer community. To everyone involved with their operations, all the best in your next endeavors. Yeah, I'm sounding like Porky Pig, and I look like him too. Um, but yeah, it's now from what I'm hearing, they never opened up a tasting room, and the commercial real estate in Vancouver is insane. Not gonna lie. Sorry, not gonna lie, it is insane. It really is. But never opening up a tasting room? Oh, that hurts. That really hurts, guys. Like, you always start with a tasting room. Like, you have to have that license to say that you can do it. You can't just rely on liquor stores and tastings and everything else like that outside the market. You've got to really have something inside. A lot of breweries around in the Calgary area, that's one main thing they go for. They go for their license where you can have a tasting room and you can have it inside your brewery so you can bring and draw people in and have them enjoy the beer. Being in industrial areas or anything else like that, or commercial areas, you need to have that little tasting room so that people after work would go and go, hey, you know what? Let's grab a beer at that new place down the road. I kind of want to check it out. And if your beer is good enough, you really start hearing through word of mouth that this place is really one of the places you should go check out. It's kind of almost a no-brainer. But at the same point in time, it's not easy to do because you do have a lot of laws, rules, and regulations going on. And that's understandable. Like, it really is. Riot Brewing, for example, was this close to closing their doors because they had a hard time trying to sell anything during their very cold spell the year before, where the power went out in their brewery. So they tried to make the most of it, and they had some difficulties. They made the most of it by making a sour because the beer turned into a sour because it was being made like you would a sour. And then they had some difficulties afterwards that they couldn't sit there and make a beer or sell beer to the potential of gaining the losses that they had back in that cold spell that killed the power. So, and the hard part about that is insurance doesn't cover a lot of things like acts of nature because they know that it happens and they don't want to cover that. Again, sorry guys. It's past my bedtime. I've been up for God knows how long. But to be honest, there's some things that they do allow the act of nature for, i.e., farming, whatnot. But breweries aren't covered by that mostly because they don't have a lot of things that would cause that. So, if they have an earthquake and it splits their bright tanks in two, most of the time that's covered under act of nature or act of God, and it's not covered, which kind of sucks, considering you live on a fault line. Hey, K2, how you doing? Um, yeah, I've just there's a lot of things that's pretty much. I feel bad for Cole Harbour because they have to close their doors, but they had some good stuff. They had some great beers, had some great collaborations. I do wish them all the best. You're gonna find that people are going to be closing their doors a lot more frequently as of late because they jumped on the bandwagon of craft beer, and some of these places aren't doing so well. I was surprised when Red Bison closed down here in Alberta. Um, I was not so surprised when Two Sergeants said they weren't going to be opening up anymore. In fact, I was kind of not shocked about that at all. Two Sergeants was one of those guys that you pretty much watched disappear. I feel bad for them, but yeah, it was one of those ones where it wasn't really that shocking. With all the shit they went through, wasn't that shocking at all. There's going to be a few more breweries. They had a great K2 IPA. I'll miss them. Yeah, I'm just. There's a few places I talked about. Which one would that be you're talking about? If it was Cold Harbor, then yes. Um, honestly, I'm glad I got to try Cold Harbor. I'm glad I got to do a review of their beer, and I'm glad I got to do it in a way that I really enjoyed it. Even though my first take of it, I had no sound, so I had to do another one quickly. But I really did enjoy the blueberry brekkie that they had. It was really good. I'm so I was just it's one of those ones where it shocks you that they have to close their doors. Big Rock, for example, has closed their Ontario brewery. They still have the brew pub, but the brewery is gone from the sounds of things. From what I heard. You've got these places coming and going now that it's going to be hard to keep up. It really is. Um, you have to have some sort of great sort of marketing ploy that will keep you going. Jesus. Sorry. I was just realizing I was ripping up a Cole Harbor had the K2 IPA. It was delicious. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't quite know. I'm sitting here and I get fidgety, so I start ripping things up. The thing that I was ripping up tonight, Bandit Peaks business card. Meh, won't need that anytime soon. Um, jeez, wow. But yeah, so I feel bad for them. I really do. And I hope that they do find something really soon. I am gonna be hitting BC in March, and I'm hoping that no other places close anytime soon because there's a few places I want to go and try. Um, I can't wait to go back. I'm gonna be doing my music trivia in Victoria. Just gonna go back to the comments here quickly. It's a shame, but only the answer is to create more alcoholic. But the only answer is to create more alcoholics. I'm researching how to accomplish this and feel I'm on the edge of a breakthrough. would you call it alcoholics or would you call it craft beer enthusiasts? Craft beer enthusiast sounds a little bit better than alcoholics. If we can create enough alcoholics, we can sustain the breweries. Yeah, yeah. And then you have someone like me who's going on a dry February. I'm gonna shut down a couple of breweries with the amount of beer that I'm not drinking in February. Um, but yeah, you look at the population versus breweries and everything else, and you really can do that. It's not a problem. You start swaying people a little bit at a time, saying, "Hey, that looks like a beautiful MGD. You know what? I've got the perfect beer that you might want to try here. It's something along the same lines as an MGD. Might cost a little bit more, and it's more, how would they say it in BC? A little bit more in, a little bit more. We need to start by infiltrating AA meetings. Mm, mm, those are the. See, I really want to say something horrid and mean and but funny. I don't know if they can afford craft beer. I'm sorry that's disrespectful at the same point in time, but I get it. It might be a worthy cause. As long as we don't turn them on to stuff like Boxer or Lucky or anything else like that, because those are bad. Those are bad. Minhas, stay away from. Um, yeah, Lucky Dog, no. Something that Minhas does, bad, so bad. Uh, so yeah, but at the same point in time, you got a lot of people doing tours that come into BC. They do want to check out the craft beer scene. It's just like people going down to Seattle or Oregon or anywhere else. They want to check out the craft beer scene. And that's a good thing. Like that's bringing in people. And that's what Alberta's doing right now too. With the Stampede is now allowing craft beer, has been for 2 years now, into the Stampede. I'm just messing around. I don't even drink, but I enjoy listening to your enthusiasm. Thanks. That's good to know. But if you don't even drink, how come you like the K2 IPA? Whoa, oh, hang on a second here. You said you like the K2 IPA. Wait a minute. Anyways, but no, I mean, like you have these enthusiasts that actually really enjoy drinking these beers, and it's nice to see that tourism doesn't just rely on oil and gas, for example, in Alberta. They're now going to craft beer, which is great because that also helps out the Alberta farms or the BC farms for their hops, the ones that do the hop farms. It helps all those guys out. I mean, this is a great turnaround, but it's the guys that just don't get it and get enough of it that have to close down. And it's really sad to see. But yeah, yeah. See, you could have told me that it could have been a Boxer IPA, and I probably would have believed you. Well, no, I know what Boxer is, so no, that wouldn't work. Sorry, the K2 IPA. Well, see, there is some. I've got a feeling that K2 is the second largest mountain in Asia, if I remember correctly. Oh, come on. Yeah. I moved away from the live stream. Get over it. Thing barked at me when I moved away. Um, if I remember K2, it is the second largest mountain in Asia. Yeah. Or is it the largest one? See, I still remember my stuff. Don't get me wrong here. um, but anyways, I just can't remember if it's the largest or second largest. So Because I thought Everest was the largest and K2 was the second largest, or is the other way around? Oh, K2 is a synthetic weed that makes people go nuts. Gee, hang on a second here. But that's also a mountain too. But if you climb the mountain and have lack of oxygen, that also makes you go nuts too. Oh, I see where they're going with this. I see where they're going with this. Anyways, yes. But there's been so many beers out there that yes, there could have been a K2 beer somewhere around there that possibly Cole did. I heard of one beer from Cole and that they don't come over here, or uh, I guess now they can't come over here. Um, so it was, like I said, last time I was out there was April, and that was for a brief visit, and I didn't get a chance to grab my 24 pack of 64 pack of beer and send it home, bring it home. So, but yeah, there's places like, for example, Fuggles and Warlock are doing well. Twin Sails are doing well. Moody Ales, I'm skeptical about. They make some great stuff, but I've got a feeling that they're on the cusp if things don't turn around for them. Um, there's a lot of breweries that I've never heard of in Vancouver. You could have told me there was a K2 brewery and I would have believed you, okay? Just throwing it out there. You have 150, 160, 180 breweries now in BC. So yeah. There's that too. So, oh, and then you left. Thanks, dude. Thanks for coming out. Um, so yeah, it's honestly right now there's a lot of things that are happening that just there's it just keeps going. It really keeps going, and I personally hope that we don't see a bigger trend of Labatt's buying out different breweries. Even though it's good for them, I really hope we don't see it. I really hope we don't see more of these good breweries that would have and could have made a big name for them, but they just didn't have the proper marketing or anything else like that go through, shut down. Um, I don't. I really hope that these breweries that are in it just for the money, everyone's in it for the money. Don't get me wrong. Everyone's in it for the money, but the ones that are just in it for the money don't care about the people that come to drink or the beer themselves, think that it's an easy sell, don't succeed. I'm sorry, but I really hope they don't succeed. It will help sort everything out where people will actually enjoy the good beers, and the people that are just in it for the money, they don't succeed, so they weed themselves out type thing. Places like Good Mood Brewing, not a lot of people have heard of that brewery out here. But at the same point in time, the hard part about it is that they're a good brewery. They really are. They're one of those breweries that really enjoy things. They do a good job and they actually have some good things going. So if you ever get a chance, check out Good Mood Brewing. Yes, they only have a few staple beers, but they're in it with their hearts. They're not in it for just money. They're in it for helping people enjoy good beer too. Anyways, um, folks, I really probably am going to be going here because I like the little viewer that we had that jumped around and tried to test me on my knowledge, and I failed. I did fail on that. I didn't have enough time to do some research on what brewery or beer he was talking about, so I went with it. Yeah, yeah, okay, believe you. I know better than that. But anyways, um, I'm also going to say that never, ever, ever buy this pack. This stout pack, 12 pack, don't ever do it. It's a bunch of garbage. There's some good ones in there, but it's not enough to really enjoy it. Really is not. I'm trying to choke down this blueberry one, and it's got the blueberry, but it's also got this bitter, ugly, hoppy sort of blah taste to it. Kind of reminds me of the Neapolitan Stout. Or no, it was the blueberry breakfast pancake one from Sagatuck. Wasn't a fan of that one. I don't know why. It kind of has the resemblance of it. I don't know why. Um, from there, folks, I just want to say that for the next again 29 days, I will not be drinking. I will be doing the 29 dry days of December because of the fact that yes, I kind of am honoring my dad's um I guess his time on Earth, or the last little bit of time on Earth that he had, or in this plane, or however you want to say it. And I kind of want to go and make a good drive for the Canadian Cancer Foundation. Um, the Wads. Hey Wads, how you doing? Um, I kind of want to make sure that everything. I want to do this for not only in honor of him. Hey Alex, how you doing? In honor of him, I kind of want to make sure that he's remembered properly and that I do this donation thing right. So you'll be seeing a lot of different live streams and whatnot here on the channel. I will be actually posting my first daily blog tomorrow for my first day of my 29 days of being sober. Yeah, yeah. Um, there's a lot of beers and everything in the back there. Been kind of clearing out my stock a little bit. I've got a lot of reviews that I have to put up. So, from there, I'm going to be doing that. It's going to be an interesting 29 days. I'll be talking about some different things that I've said in my video before about cancer and everything else. It's going to be some serious stuff. I'm going to be doing some not so serious stuff just to keep it lighthearted because, even though cancer sucks, we all have to turn around and give it the middle finger, yet still have a jovial aspect. There's some people that can't because of the fact that they've gone through this and it's horrible. It really plays a toll on your mental attitude and your mental state of mind overall. You lost your. So Alex says he's lost his dad in 2015, so I get it because it all happened so fast. Yeah, yeah, it does. It really, really does. You don't see how fast it happens. You don't see the you hear about it. You don't actually hear about it. You hear about the loss of a loved one, but you don't see all the stuff that they go through. You don't see all the stuff that the family goes through. You don't hear all that stuff that the family goes through, and it's not easy. It is seriously not easy at all. You don't expect how hard it really is, but you don't understand how hard it is until you have to live through it, or be part of it, or yourself live through it. Um, or in the retrospect of some people, they don't get to live through it. There's a lot that really hits fast. I mean, like I said in my video before, they said that my dad had between 12 and 18 months because they managed to take the tumor out. And this is stories I'll be reiterating later on in the month, but he only lived 7. He had problems, he had seizures, he had inabilities to walk. Um, I'm in Mount. I'm in the mountain time zone, so right now it is late. It is 12:24 Mountain Standard Time or Mountain Daylight Time. Spring forward, fall back. One of the two. I can never remember. It's Mountain Time. How's that? Uh, but it's one of those things where you look at it and you don't really fathom how bad it is until you hear about it. And I was away from my parents and my dad and everything, and I got that magical phone call. Well, not magical, that horrible phone call, February 20th, and I immediately, my mom basically, as you'll hear later on in the full version of it, my mom let my dad speak to me, and the first thing I thought was, I'm out. I'm going, I'm going, I'm going. And there was no stopping me. And I went. So, but you'll hear all about that a little bit later on. It's just a little teaser of what's coming up. I do have some things I want to do, but starting tomorrow there will be some vlogs. I don't know what time I'll be dropping them, but I'm also going to be doing something a little different with this 29 dry days of well, of December. You tell I've been doing that for quite a few years. 29 dry days of February. I will be doing some things, and we're going to see exactly how it affects my state of mind, my sleep, and even my weight. Um, we're going to look at a lot of stuff in that retrospect, and I hopefully that you guys get to follow along in the journey with me. Being that I am a fat bastard, maybe I can be a less fat bastard after the 29 days have finished. So until then, folks, I am going to say farewell, good night. I'm going to finish off the last beer for this month. Um, and as I said, I'm not cheating. I haven't fallen asleep yet, so it isn't the next day yet. That's the way I go with. So this beer is done, and I put my head down and pass out for the night. That is when my drinking stops. I will see you guys real soon. Thanks again for joining, and hopefully we don't have any more discussions of breweries closing or being bought out by Labatt's or AB InBev or Sapporo or anyone else like that, because yeah, it's not exactly the most thrilling news, but at the same point in time, it's the one that makes the most noise. Till next time, thanks again for joining, and have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night.